How did the recital go?
How do you think it went?
With Christmas around the corner, I thought, what better way to celebrate the holiday than take a look back at Black Christmas? Widely considered a cult classic, Black Christmas is often regarded as one of the first slashers ever created. Will this 1974 classic bring out some Christmas spirit? Let's find out and get right on into it. Welcome back, I'm Sippin Ice, and before we get into it, spoiler warning, I plan on looking at multiple versions of this movie. So if that interests you, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to stay up to date on when those remake reviews drop. Now let's take a trip down memory lane and take a look at 1974's. The film opens up to a massive house, home of the Pi Kappa Sigma sorority, as it's decorated for the festive holiday, with a party happening on the inside. But on the outside, we follow the POV of a heavy breathing person as they watch from the shadows. They begin climbing up some lattice in order to make it inside. Meanwhile, Barb receives a call, so she steps away. The one in the attic slowly climbs down as the party winds down, leaving the home with just the sisters. After some time, the girls receive a call from the Moaner again.
It's him again! The Mona!
Hold up, pause.
Bro has a damn nickname, he's done this so much. Aside from Bro needing to be caught by Chris Hansen, this opening sequence is so well done for me. It's almost commonplace now to follow from the point of view of the killer, but here it's fresh as it's one of the first to ever do so. The creepy call ending with him just saying he's going to kill her as well was such a nice touch that adds more layers into creating an eerie atmosphere.
I'm going to kill you.
Barb hangs up the phone on dude, ruining the vibe. Barb upsets Claire, so she leaves to pack upstairs. I mean, it is Christmas, so maybe she's preparing to leave to see her family over the holidays. But before she can leave, she hears something moving around behind a plastic sheet in her closet. Believing it to be a good old kitty, she checks it out. But alas, it's not a good kitty, but a bad kitty as they emerge, suffocating Claire in the plastic. One down. Downstairs, the sisters open presents from Mrs. Mack, unaware of the situation unfolding upstairs. In a genuine scene that riled me up was the film's use of panning audio. I rewatched the movie with headphones on, and a certain noise is made that's only in my right ear, freaking me out thinking someone was actually behind me. Silly, I know, but I'm gonna keep it 20 times 5 and admit when something got me to jump. As more sisters leave for the holidays, multiple things begin taking place. Mrs. Mack starts taking swigs from her infamous bookcase liquor, and Jess receives a call from someone apparently named Peter. Sure, if that's even your real name, pal.
Hi, how's the party?
Okay, maybe you are Peter. In the bathroom, we see Mrs. Mack retrieve her infamous toilet liquor. What the shit, she got a bottle in all the spots. The next day, a man waits for Claire, but, well, he's gonna be waiting for a while. He shows up at the sorority home trying to find her, but finds Mrs. Mack swearing up a storm.
Oh, God damn it, Claude, you little prick!
I love that scene so much, by the way, and if you're loving this video, then you'll definitely love this.
Hello, everybody. This is a message from Dewey.
Yes, it's David Arquette, Dewey from the Scream movies. But please, like, subscribe, check out Sippin Ice, my friend Ty's channel.
Thank you.
Barb and Claire's father report her missing to the police, who was not much help.
You, shut up.
But Jess helps Mrs. Mack as the door is broken and hasn't yet been fixed. I wonder if that'll come into play.
Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
Wanting to get some real help for Claire, Jess goes to a hockey rink and talks to Chris. After learning of her disappearance, they head to the police station where he demands answers. They then have a meeting with Lieutenant Ken Fuller, played by the late great John Saxon. If he's in a movie, I'm gonna have a good time. Over at the sorority house, Barb breaks down, believing everyone blames her for their missing sister. She heads upstairs to go lay down, while Jess and Chris arrive with the news of their meeting. Man, where's Peter in all of this? Oh, okay, there he is. Thanks to Fuller, a search party commences looking for Claire. Also, thanks to the search party, this leaves the house rather empty. But not fully. Mrs. Mack prepares to leave, but hears Claude the kitty cat upstairs. So she goes searching. She comes to the attic ladder and climbs up. She looks around and spots Claire. She's been found, but as she turns around, the killer swings down a hook, ending Mrs. Mack. 2 down. But the thing is, I can't tell if he was happy or mad about it.
Daddy, chill.
I do know, though, that I love the switching of the POVs. It's cool following their perspective from time to time. Over in the search party, they find something. Something not so good. But what? Throughout the movie, Jess has been receiving calls from someone, and every time it's been getting more and more intense as they keep referencing someone named Billy. She hangs up the phone and dials someone up about what to do. Behind her, coming down the stairs, is the killer. No, Peter. Jess informs us and Peter about what the search party found in that park. Sadly, it was a little girl, and the cop at the station was a super doucher about it.
Well, miss, we're very busy here. There's been a child murdered in the park.
Wow, man. Damn.
Peter and Jess have a deep and serious conversation about their future.
How did the recital go?
How do you think it went?
But in short, Jess doesn't want to marry Peter, and her having their baby is up in the air as she is pregnant. But in less awkward and tense news, the detectives talked to Nash about the sorority phone number. He got pranked into thinking fellatio was some new number exchange. Bro got done in.
I know. Something dirty, ain't it?
The movie has nice little comedic breaks like this that is great and needed to break some of the heavy tension. Speaking of tension, Peter storms out as Fuller and co arrive, leaving Fuller to watch him. He questions and searches the home while another detective sets up a tap on their phone. But hey, you gotta stay on the call long enough so they can trace them. So far, this movie has checked all the boxes needed for it to be a slasher movie. Wait, actually though, there's one box they have not checked. The red herring box. But luckily for us, Peter checks it off for us as he hides behind a tree and just watches the police as they drive off. Phil breaks down in Jess's arms about their missing friend. Understandably so. We don't see this enough, especially in slashers. Too often people just forget and move on from the dead, when they were apparently really good friends. So I really appreciate the authenticity of this movie when showing real distress over the situation. Up in the attic, we see the killer's POV yet again as he rocks Claire's body in the rocking chair as she holds onto a baby doll, adding depth to the character without showing us their face yet. Love to see it. What I don't love to see is them climbing back down the attic ladder looking for more victims. Barb's bedroom door opens and we see the silhouette of the killer. We cut over to Jess as she hears Barb struggling to breathe. No, not Barb! Oh wait, she's okay. She just needed her inhaler. Whew, close one. You can tell this movie is older because some Christmas carolers arrive and Jess opens the door to listen. That would not happen now. Not a soul would open the door. Be real, you know you wouldn't. You watching this video right now, if some Christmas carolers came up to your house, you answering the door? Come on, yeah, I thought so. This does, however, give time for the killer to go back into Barb's room. They claim they are Billy.
It's me, Billy.
They grab a glass unicorn statue and, in an infamous scene, lift it above their head and slams it down over and over into Barb as the carolers sing alongside. No, dude, not Barb. It's showtime though. Jess receives a call. She answers the phone and the police listen in, attempting to track the call. The killer ends the call before the police can track him. She needs to keep her on the call for longer. During the call, however, she heard something. She thinks it might have been Peter, but she withholds this information from Fuller because apparently she's not sure. Shit, if it was me, I'd be like, yeah man, Peter's sus as hell. Keep an eye out for that guy, dude, right over there. I'd be pointing him out right now. Especially when it was pretty much word for word what bro said earlier.
Like having a wart removed.
Sitting down with Phil, Jess receives another call from the killer. But this time, she knows what to do. She calls them Peter to see if she can get them to stay on the call. The police begin tracking it, and again it's too short. Fuller talks to Jess about what's going on. Jess admits to him that she's pregnant and wants to abort it. Fuller thinks it might be Peter, but Jess isn't quite there yet. As the audience, we know there's ties to a baby and the killer as shown when he had Claire rock a baby doll in the attic. But if it's not Peter, then who is it? Phil and Jess go around locking all the doors and windows they can. During this, Phil decides to go and check on Barb, but when she enters the room, the door shuts behind her. Meanwhile, Jess gets another call and Fuller arrives to the recital hall where Peter smashed his piano earlier. On the phone, Jess hears screams and yelling about Billy and the baby. The call is lasting a while. They got him. They trace the call. Where are the calls coming from? Inside the home. Fuller calls Officer Jennings, the officer stationed outside the house, but Jennings won't be answering anytime soon. Fuller rushes over as he tells Nash to inform Jess to leave the house without telling her about the killer inside the house. He blows that secret, however. Jess goes upstairs wanting to check on her friends, but don't stress, she grabs a fire poker beforehand. She opens the door, finding her two friends, Barb and Phil, laying on the bed, no longer with us. Through the crack in the door, we see an eyeball saying, "Agnes, it's me, Billy."
Anyway, I started blasting. Bang! Bang!
Yeah, not good. Jess shoves the door on him and takes off running. She makes it to the front door, but remember how Mrs. Max said the door was broken? Yeah, she can't get it open. So she runs off with Billy close behind.
Oh, I won't let you go.
She locks herself behind the basement door with him smashing away until nothing. We hear what sounds like him just walking outside the house. Outside some small windows, she hears her name. She goes over to check it out, but smartly doesn't get too close. In a badass shot, like actually really cool, we see the silhouette of someone behind the foggy window as they peer inside. After some time, a face meets the window. It's Peter. He's calling out for Jess, but do we trust him? Jess chooses no and doesn't answer him, instead hiding in the basement. Same, Jess, same. I wouldn't take not one single chance. That doesn't stop bro though. He busts open the window and jumps in, and he finds her. Lieutenant Fuller arrives to the sounds of screaming. He and other officers barge in. They head downstairs and find, what the shit, Peter and Jess lying dead on the ground? Oh no, she's alive. I lied. In a room, Claire's dad, Chris, and Fuller surround Jess as she's unconscious in a bed. Fuller leaves his post to speak to reporters curious on the events of the evening. Claire's dad passes out to Chris and the doctor carrying him out, leaving Jess all alone. The camera pans, eventually landing on the ladder leading back up into the attic. The killer is back up in the attic singing lullabies. It was not Peter after all. Panning away from the attic window, the phone rings once again, bringing the film to an end. That was the infamous Black Christmas from 1974. It's a great festive watch for the holiday season. I enjoyed the aesthetic a lot and the shots this movie took. It was one of the first of its kind, and it establishes a lot of what eventually becomes slasher canon. It is why I have to rate this movie a 9.5 out of 10. The calls were creepy and set the tone right off the rip, with some great scenes making us believe Peter was actually the killer. But that's my review of Black Christmas. If you enjoyed and would like to see me cover the remakes, let me know by liking the video and subscribing to stay up to date. What are your thoughts on this holiday classic? Let me know down in the comments, and as always, I appreciate your time. Stay chill, and I will see you next time.